where do things stand? How bad are they actually? What's going on with this sort of viewability issue, and what do you think the industry needs to do?
Well, to a certain extent, it's ridiculous that we are actually talking about inhuman traffic. No other medium in the history of the world has had to argue that they're selling you humans as opposed to robots. Now, viewability and ad fraud actually have a lot of overlap, but they are two distinctly different issues. Viewability is the ability for a human to see an ad, where inhuman activity is actually creating an impression that no human will ever see. And I think we've made some good strides with the viewability side of things. And I think that while standards have been set, it's likely that they will evolve over the future. But the big issue right now that was discussed at length at the recent IAB, ANA, and 4A's joint board meetings was ad fraud. And there's criminals that are making millions of dollars by creating these little robots that go around the web and assume profiles of females, males, and take on age and regionality and everything else. They are very, very clever. And they can compose up to 25 to 30% of a particular ad buy. Now, Group M yesterday, through Rob Norman, made a statement about what they intend to pay for, and as you might guess, they only want human activity, which is very reasonable. And so we believe that it's incumbent on the folks that are selling the audiences to ensure that those audiences are actually human beings. And I don't think that's an unreasonable request. At the same time, because this has become the issue that it has become today, pricing will go up. And the advertiser has to recognize that in spite of the efforts that everybody makes to only advertise to human beings, that the criminals are pretty tough to catch. And that has actually been priced into their media buys for the last few years. And in short, we all have to work together on this. There is not an overnight solution. It will take some time through technology and perseverance, but we will get to the bottom of it and get to the point where everybody can be proud to be offering only human beings as a target audience.
Now, what about viewability in terms of the time that something's viewed and what you see as sort of a real accurate amount of time or an appropriate amount of time for a video view to be counted as an ad?
That's a really tough question, because if you look at traditional media, magazine, right? What do they use to justify the advertising buy to an agency? It basically is that the magazine has a certain amount of circulation and the ad is inside the magazine. So there's no time spent with the magazine ad that I'm aware of, no metric there. How about television? Even though they have commercial ratings now, what guarantee is there that the person in the room doesn't turn their back and start talking to their friend about the latest baseball scores or who won The Voice or what have you? There's no metric there either. So I think when it comes to viewability, the important thing is to have a metric that compares favorably to other media, and that is ability to view. And of course, if an ad is beneath the fold and never makes it above the fold, then it can't possibly be viewed and shouldn't count. And advertisers aren't going to pay for it. They may pay for it for a while longer, but that will stop. On the other hand, if it's in full view and the user doesn't see it, that's really a problem of the creative and the product that was put forth in front of that user. So again, I do believe standards will evolve over the future. Digital is the most accountable media ever. And that accountability puts us under a much higher microscope, much higher scrutiny than other media. But I think we're up to the challenge, and we can answer those questions, and we can solve it in a manner that keeps us the most exciting, effective medium in the world.